Hello! Can I get your attention, please? Awesome. Very cool. It's so great to see so many people in here interested in talking about diversity and leadership. Thanks all for coming. It's my first ever day that I'm moderating. I've never done it before. I've only talked in public about my own company, but I've never moderated such a cool event before. So thanks so much for having me today. First off, I want to introduce myself as well. So my name is Kristel, and I'm building a tech company myself. So for the past 5 years, I've been building a company called Testlio, which is a global community of software test experts that test mobile apps. So we work with companies like NBA, Microsoft, Salesforce, and so on. So we have an office here in Estonia that focuses on product and engineering, and we also have an office in San Francisco, the heart of tech companies that focuses on sales and marketing. And today I'm super excited to be here with you today. And before we start with our panel discussion, we have some awesome panelists talking about leadership and diversity. Before, we're going to have a couple of other keynote speakers talking about their own viewpoints on diversity and leadership. And to be honest, even though people consider me as a different founder in the tech industry, I really don't consider myself like that. It's just for the past 5 years I've been doing what I love, and I've never felt myself privileged or a bit different because I'm a woman in tech. But yeah, anyways, this year's theme is diversity and leadership in Flux, and in my opinion, diversity has become a buzzword in my eyes, especially in the tech industry during the past 5 years, when I see companies in the Silicon Valley, such as Twitter or Uber, hiring head of diversities. It's something that they really want to focus on. But then I talked with the panelists earlier on, and they already said that, like IBM and HP, like they've already been focusing on diversity even earlier. So like the newer tech companies are actually behind, and especially, and myself as well, like I haven't digged into this topic too much. So I hope that I'm going to learn a lot during this couple of hours that I'm going to spend with you today. But without further ado, to introduce today's forum, I would like to welcome Mr. Jevgeni Ossinovski, Minister of Health and Labour, Estonia, on the stage.
Good afternoon, dear friends. Being a Minister of Health and Labour, also responsible for the diversity and equal treatment issues in Estonia, and that's why I'm here in front of you. On behalf of the Estonian Presidency, I'd like to kindly welcome you here in Tallinn for this year's Diversity Charters Forum. I'll keep my introductory remarks very simple. I have two thoughts to share with you today, so that you could easily keep track of what I'm saying. Firstly, we all sometimes need reminding why we're doing what we are doing. And we are doing this because diversity matters. Firstly, it matters for the individuals involved. The fight against discrimination and work towards a more inclusive society is in itself quite abstract. We talk about legal norms, we look at aggregate statistics, we evaluate the role of various social institutions, education systems, families, labor markets in the promotion of diversity. It's all very abstract. At the same time, the effects of discrimination and unequal opportunities are very much concrete. Say if a person from an immigrant background is likely to earn a quarter less than her fellow citizen, if her child is much less likely to graduate from a university, or if a less able person is unable to apply for a desired position simply because the workplace is unsuitable for her specific needs. In these cases, the consequences for the individual are not abstract at all. They are very personal, and diversity matters to them. But it's not only the individual that benefits from diversity. A growing body of research shows that diversity also matters for organizations and the societies more generally. More diverse workforce creates added economic value. Diversity management increases people's happiness and satisfaction at workplace. And we know that more inclusive societies are more resilient and open to change. Several international studies have shown that diversity has a positive economic impact indeed. For instance, according to the 2015 McKinsey study, Diversity Matters, companies with high racial and ethnic diversity are 35% more likely to be economically successful. A strong economic benefit of diversity is also suggested by the recent EIGE study on the economic benefits of gender equality in the EU. The study shows that improvements in gender equality would lead to an additional 10.5 million jobs in 2050, which would benefit both women and men, as well as to an increase of GDP per capita ranging from 2 to 3 trillion euros. Thus, we know that valuing diversity is a win-win game. Not only is discrimination unacceptable because of its negative impact on the individuals concerned, but it is also economically unreasonable, as it discourages talents and prevents people from reaching their full potential. My second thought concerns the way in which we think about diversity, and I'm aware that not necessarily all of you will agree with me. While our language in this regard has changed substantially when speaking about these issues, I think that our mindsets in some regards have not always followed. Namely, many still consider diversity issues to be questions of minority rights. Both nationally and internationally, we still talk about this or that group of people not sufficiently protected. And there's, of course, an elaborate discourse behind it. Those who are different from us need protection and promotion of their interests. Grouping of people and other phenomena is, of course, a fully natural cognitive mechanism that we all employ each day. Yet the criteria for distinguishing people are, for the most part, socially constructed, while at the same time describing reality, they also construct it. And this constitution of minority groups also and automatically means what I call mainstreaming the society. Not biological necessity, but in reality, when there are minority groups, then there has to also be a majority, a social mainstream. And both of these concepts, and actually the whole discourse, amplifies the differences between groups while artificially lessening differences within the groups. And while, again, to a large extent this is inevitable and can be instrumentally in some cases useful, and nonetheless for promoting diversity, I think it risks missing the core issue at stake. And the core issue is equal rights and equal treatment of each and every one. Nobody is mainstream. Therefore, promoting diversity, in my view, should not be viewed as a promotion of exclusive minority rights, but as an issue of managing diversity in the context of equal treatment of individuals. And I have summarized this thought with a slightly provocative question: can a feminist be a homophobe? Sociologically, sure. People have always held conflicting beliefs without seeing any problem with that. We all do. Yet within a coherent worldview, that is not possible. Civic partnerships for all families is not an issue of gay rights. It's a matter of equal treatment. The ban on racial discrimination is not a matter of minority rights. It's a matter of equal treatment. The feminist struggle to secure gender equality is not a question of women's rights. It's a matter of equal treatment. They are structurally all the same, because they demand a society in which a person is a person, in which a value of an individual does not depend on the characteristics one is unable to change. And crucially, the fight for the equality of people, regardless of gender, sexual orientation, or race, is contributing to a more open, tolerant society in which we all feel more valued and respected. It's another win-win. In 2012, the Estonian Diversity Charter was established, and by now around 80 companies and organizations have already signed the Diversity Charter and declared their commitments to respect diversity in their organizational practices and at workplace. Of course, the Charter itself is not a panacea that magically wipes away all the problems, but I think it's a concrete step ahead towards cultural and societal change that we need in this regard. It's an important value commitment, and we're proud that in Estonian society we are moving in the right direction, both within our organizations, but increasingly in society as a whole. And finally, I'd like to thank you for being here with us in Tallinn, and I wish you a successful discussion on how to promote diversity for the benefits of people, organizations, and the society. All the best.